once again, a really tough spot. A lot of good corners. My number one was like the only spot that I was like really convinced like this guy is number one. But at number three, I went with Deonte Banks out of Maryland. He ran a 4.35 40-yard dash, 42-inch vertical, and an 11'4" broad jump at the combine. Like, athlete is an understatement. The guy was an athletic freak. I'm trying to find his measurables. 6 foot. He was a junior, so I don't know his age. Weighs 197. So, I mean, like, pretty prototypical style corner in terms of size. But the athletic side of it, I mean, the guy was crazy. So, yeah, anyway, the thing that I really loved about Deonte Banks was it seems like that he can cover receivers at pretty much any level, whether it's, being that outside corner, even going to the slot, following people. I don't worry about him when it comes to, like you said, with those two other guys. They're not going to cover a Tyreek Hill or someone like that. Like maybe Ringo can because he's got some speed, but in terms of like agility, Tyreek would shake him out of his shoes. Banks doesn't struggle with that issue. I think that he can keep up with pretty much anybody. So overall, Deonte Banks, he's my number three. The only issues that I saw from him, number one, his sophomore year, he only got to play 5 games because that was the COVID-19 season. And then he had in 2021, his season ended after a shoulder injury. And so there could be some like health concerns there. I don't know how serious the injury was, but I mean, just having 2 years when he only played 7 football games, that's a little tough. But last year, I mean, he had a pretty decent season, but he only had 1 interception. So we've seen some other corners. I mean, even his freshman year where he was solid, he also only had 1 interception. So he could be one of those corners, like I think of like Byron Jones. I mean, similar, like athletic freak, crazy 40 time, crazy broad jump. Like I think I don't know if he still has it, but at the time he set the broad jump record at the NFL Combine. But when he gets to the NFL, he just can't really force turnovers. I worry that Banks might be that same way, but that could just be me looking a little too much into the results because, like I said, only 2 interceptions, I believe, in his college career. So yeah, anyway, Deonte Banks, he's my number 3 cornerback. How about you?
I want to note he is my number 6, Deonte Banks, like just outside looking in, just to add on to him. And yeah, I could easily see him at 3. I loved all the upside that you mentioned. Lack of film, kind of hurt him. I'm not using that against him, but it was just tough to see everything like you kind of mentioned. And it's, and I felt like at times got a little sloppy with just technique and getting over aggressive. Took the cheese. He's very susceptible to that at times on double moves, which we'll definitely see more of in the NFL.
I did want to bring that up, like similar to Trayvon Diggs in that regard, but didn't get like the interception numbers, which was the strange part. Because Diggs, like, okay, he's gonna bite, but he'll make some game changing plays. Banks didn't necessarily do that.
Yeah, so I'm with you. That's why it's 6, because he's just a little bit more of a raw prospect, I felt, than obviously these other 5 guys, but especially Porter and Ringo. So, he may struggle at first. It may take him, like we've seen some of these guys, like Carlton, like I mentioned, Carlton Davis, that comp, he took a couple of years to really get going. He may be one of those corners that may have, Trevon Diggs, you mentioned too, is a great example where first year or two may, have some quote unquote bonehead mistakes, take the cheese, but then coach him up, coaches tell him, hey man, like you're really good, you're really fast, like you don't need to always take the cheese. You can just let the 5-yard slant happen, or as opposed to biting on it and disaster happens. So yeah, just want to add that on to him because yeah, it was really tough to leave him out. That was, like I said, 4, 5, 6 was really tough.